cortex, they are in their most powerful, conscious and conscientious, high-integrity place. It's about getting it up there first. This neocortex makes up 2 to 10% of our function. The neocortex is the choosing mind. Once we are aware of what's going on, that rational, creative, that logical essence of ourselves can be initiated so we can navigate on any journey, whether it be deciding to take a different route to work or, hey, being open to, eating a different kind of food rather than the same old. The neocortical brain opens us up to a whole different color and possibility in our life. That choosing brain, once again, makes up 2 to 10% of who we are. Now we go into the other parts of the brain. And this other part of the brain is called the limbic brain. And the limbic brain is in the center of your brain, and it is subconsciously controlled, meaning you don't control your limbic brain. Your limbic brain has its own momentum, its own rationale. It is reactive in nature. It has to do with feeding and fighting and fleeing. It's sexually driven. It's emotionally driven. And when this limbic brain gets triggered, we react. Gotta eat. Gotta whatever. On a limbic level, when a person, when you or I are triggered in this emotionally reactive way, it sends a signal. There's no choice. There's no judgment. And when it goes, it goes. Procreation is why we make babies. It's a driven thing. It's just instilled in our neural network. The third part of this triune brain is what's called the reptilian brain. And reptilian brain has to do with the midbrains, the pons, the medulla oblongata, the cerebellum. This is a primal brain. This is the dinosaur brain. You thought the dinosaurs are extinct? They're not. They're in your reptilian brain. They still live in you and I. This is a reactive brain. There's no choice, there's no judgment. The reptilian brain orchestrates your cardiopulmonary function, your heartbeat, your blood pressure, your respiration, and all the functions of the 50+ trillion cells in your body are reptilian controlled by this particular brain. That brain, no choice, no judgment. When it gets triggered, you get rigid, you get ritualistic, you get obsessive and compulsive. Hey, do you know anybody who's rigid, ritualistic, obsessive compulsive, addictive in nature? Yeah, you got a friend, right? Everybody has it. That reptilian brain, when it gets triggered, it takes over, and we're in it. Now, here's the thing. There's this experience in life where we're moving and grooving from one step to the next, and we're having emotional experiences every step of the way. The limbic brain is bouncing off of certain people and moments, and we feel happy, we feel joy, we feel sad, we feel angry, we feel vulnerable. And in a particular moment where the emotions are like at this crescendo and we can't deal with it, we don't know how to process those emotions, good, bad, or ugly, we can't process our emotions, the limbic brain creates a stopgap. And the stopgap is so interesting because it stops from going up to the neocortex, that higher brain, that rational, creative, logical brain. It just sends a signal right down to the reptilian brain, and the reptilian goes into its fight, fight, or flight. It just goes into its automatic, what's called autonomic function, where based upon the emotion, let's say it's anger, heart rate starts to go at anger. Blood sugar goes at anger. Muscle tone goes at anger.
Alright, sorry about that whole, 7 minutes or so of listening to another video, and I even played it and recorded it, but I was inside of a store whenever I had the camera on my phone. But I wanted you to hear that introduction for a better description of these brains than the one I've been giving. That link was in the last video at the bottom with 2 others that I highly recommend looking at. Nothing too magical in there. One's one that gives you a bunch of hacks that are pretty darn good. Anyways, so what he was just saying is crucial. It's about vibration, basically. And if you are in anger vibration, then everything goes into that. So basically, when you're in the anger, that low vibration, and everything else, well, then your heart rate goes into that, your blood sugar goes into that, your organs, the way you're breathing, everything, even your thinking. How often do you get to think whenever you're in anger and you can think correctly? I know I can't do an episode or do a video when I'm upset with either the wife or the kids. I have to wait and cool off for a little bit until my vibration starts rising and I start getting in a better field. One thing I want to not necessarily add, because this guy is a doctor and he knows this stuff way better than I would, but the thing he's talking about, emotional brain, I think that has more to do with your primal emotions. Whenever you have a certain, like you're hungry, that's the kind of the emotion you go eat, right? You're horny, you go have sex, kind of thing. But it's not necessarily like the emotion that we add to our thoughts. So I've explained it in great detail, especially at the beginning of my podcast, but even recent videos as well, that if you want to do magic, you want something to manifest, well, after you do your spell, after you've been doing your sleep fucking affirmation / self-hypnosis, doing sigils, whatever the case is, during the day, you got to try not to think about it. You got to be in that receiving, unconscious. Your body is just going through the motions of what your day is, your ritual, the programming you've been programmed into, whether that's going to work, whether that's staying home during the coronavirus fucking outbreak, whatever the case is, your body's just going through the motions. And then you'll receive it. But anytime you start thinking about it, you're stopping it from coming, because your subconscious mind, the minute your conscious mind focuses on something, then your subconscious mind can't be working on it and lining up all the ways for that to come to you. And that's why, instead of blocking it, which you're doing by thinking about it anyways, what you do is you kind of just reaffirm it. And you think of a time or a story or a song or whatever gets you in either a happy, loving emotion, that if that was the emotion you use to do the manifestation in whatever way, or if it's something you've been trying to bring while you sleep, well, then you got to go with whatever emotion you're going to experience when you receive whatever it is. So if it's you banishing away addictions, well, you'll probably be pretty relieved, so you got to mimic that. So the tip I gave at the beginning was to have emotions on command, and what that basically means is any kind of song, because I have songs that I listen to that I can tear up with and feel an overwhelming amount of love and joy, and there's thoughts that I can channel in a second, and then it overcomes me and it makes me want to be nicer. So I could be dealing with an asshole, okay, but be still in a depolarized state. Unless they're personally attacking me, then they might call on this anger this guy's talking about. But this asshole hasn't done that yet. Well, if I start thinking about one of these emotions, I'm going to treat him and deal with him in a different way than I would that if he angers me. And this is what this is meant. Now, this emotional brain, to me, that he's talking about the limbic system, plays into the planets. It plays into the forces that govern us. Like he was saying, talking about sex, hunger, anger, going to war, fighting, if someone starts saying you are under threat from terrorists, well, you're going to want to protect your kids, your wife, and your family, so you're more likely to go sign up for the military, during those circumstances that people have been painting for you, that they triggered you with, rather than in times of peace. Right now, like coronavirus going on, you don't need to sign up for that. But the minute they come out with, someone is sending coronavirus here, like they did with fucking, what was it? They're putting on stamps and the letters, I can't remember what it was, but anthrax. Well, they're putting fucking coronavirus on fucking the envelopes, and now there's going to be guys that want to go over there and kill those bastards, and then we're going to go over there and take some fucking something from these fuckers. That's the real story, yet they use coronavirus and they played on everybody's limbic fucking emotional brain system to get there. Now, once again, I was talking about the reptilian brain when you go into meditation, and it's the older brain, but this is what I mean by getting more knowledge and expanding on it. whenever I was listening to that. I listened to it earlier and that part didn't click, but now it just clicked. The planets, the love feeling you get when you meet somebody. When I met my wife, there was just magnetic attraction. It just came over me. I couldn't do nothing. And, the minute we stopped talking and I got to kissing her, I couldn't stop. And it was something that came over me, because you ever have those nights when you're doing something, either with somebody, whether it's a girl, whether it's a friend, and you're a complete other person. This person just seems to bring this out of you. Well, it's some kind of emotional reaction you're getting, and it's deep inside that limbic system. Even though your cortex is there, your cortex can, you can probably consciously try to find a way to walk away and get out of there, but you don't want to, because it's pulling on this. It's making you do this. So I just want to specify the difference there of what he's talking about versus when you add emotion to thought to make something happen. So like calling on emotion whenever you're thinking about, okay, I have the 10 grand I wanted to manifest, and you thought about it like, fuck, you were like, oh, it'd be nice if that came in now. Oh shit, I accepted that thought's going to come in now. And then either prior to that or, during it, depending on how good you are at this, you would think about your other emotion. Now, most people say you have to, if you're calling on money, you got to feel the money, taste the money, all that shit within the neocortex. And like I said before, I think that's valid and I think that works. But I think whenever it comes to just putting the emotion into it, so that's getting your neocortex involved in a whole different way. But nonetheless, whenever you taste it, touch it, smell it, see it within your head, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or fake, right? So you're seeing this all in your head, and you're getting your neocortex engaged, because the 5 senses is part of that. And then it's going to send a signal to the limbic system to bring you to get an emotional response. So you don't even necessarily have to have an emotion on command, like I was saying. So like I said before, this way has valid, and now I kind of understand a little bit more why you would do that. And the neocortex is also why the affirmation route will go on, but I'll do that in another video probably tomorrow. But by doing that way, if you're seeing yourself in a house full of fucking money that you're gonna be overwhelmed with gratitude. It's gonna be like waking up from a dream where you had all that money and you're so sad because you don't have it anymore. I've had that before. So, which sucks too, because then you just kind of canceled out what happened. If you could have woke up all grateful that that's happened, it might have made it happen. But anyways, so I wanted to set that, and I wanted to say for everybody that you should check out that video, because it's got a lot of good information in there that you just have to read between the lines, add your wisdom and knowledge of the stuff that I've been talking about, or anybody else you've been reading up on about occult stuff, and fill in the correspondences. The like means like, because he's talking about those 7 energies within our body that people have deified as gods because they rule us and they never die. Well, doing witchcraft and magic is being able to not necessarily rule those, because you can still have those and you still want to use those emotions, but you want to use them when they're needed. So you can control them to a certain extent. And like I said prior in my last video, I don't think I made a very strong case for it, but the depolarization part is how you maintain a good distance from these things, from these 7 forces that rule you. If you're depolarized, you're not going to get angered as easily. You're going to realize there's another side of the story. You're going to realize they had a hard life. You're going to realize whatever you need to realize to not react. And this way, when you see something on TV, hopefully you're not watching TV, that's part of depolarization. But if you do see something or hear something, you're not automatically going to react. It's not going to trigger something in your limbic mind to go to rage or fear or anger or hate or instantly love, And another way of this, and it's certainly proved true in my life, anytime a man sees something, they can get turned on through their eyes. Automatically the cortex, the biofeedback loop into your eyes. This girl looks hot. Oh my god, I'm getting chubby. I'm getting turned on. Shit, and it sends the emotion. Like, oh, you're horny. Tells it to the fucking reptile. It starts getting you ready to go do something, right? And you either have to go find your girlfriend, your wife, or go in a room somewhere by yourself, or do something on your phone like X videos or one of those other sites. Anyways, the point is, but depolarization helps with that as well. It helps relieve the automatic, and you might not want that, because a lot of people want to keep having sex, but I noticed when I started my depolarization, my sex drive was decreasing as well. So I had to make sure I had to maintain a healthy sex life on purpose, and I had to remember to not be depolarized in all things. But I've already went through that, and maybe I'll go into depth and more on that. But I wanted you to hear the beginning of that for a little better of what I'm talking about. But the 3 links I put in the last video are super beneficial. Check them out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.